On August 13th, 2018, at 4:19 p.m., Sergeant Bakes, Officer Coonrod, and Officer James showed up at Chris and Shanann's house with a search warrant to search the property. The Lexus was searched and it was parked in the garage with 2 car seats in the back. It also says that the keys to the Lexus were sitting on the center console. There was also a remote to the garage attached to the passenger side visor. So my question is, why would the car keys be inside the Lexus, and when did Chris put the keys inside there? Also, why was the clicker to the garage on the passenger side? Normally, people keep it on the driver's side. Keep in mind, Shanann was gone that weekend. She was in Arizona, so only Chris was the one driving around in that car that weekend. We know he went to Target, he went to a birthday party, he went on his infamous lazy dog date. We know that he met up with Troy over a Fire Stick. So why would Chris have the clicker to the garage on the passenger side? Some believe that Chris put the car keys inside the vehicle when he first arrives home from work. I don't believe that, and I'm going to go ahead and play that video really quick for you. I did slow it down, and I did zoom in a little bit so we can see. One thing I noticed is that Chris, when he gets there, he jumps out of the truck and goes around to the passenger side. He does get something out of the truck, and then as he turns, it seems like he looks to see if they're looking at him. He does put whatever he took out of the truck underneath his arm, where his armpit is, and he holds it tight, so his arm is close to him the whole time holding whatever that is. Right now you're going to see all he has in his hand is his car keys to his truck, then the clicker and his cell phone. And whatever he's holding underneath where his armpit is, he's holding that tight the whole time. And you're going to see it. It's something black. So he opens the door. His arm stays there holding whatever it is. Bends down, picks something up, something really small. And the keys were found in the center console, so you can see Chris doesn't go all the way into the car.
Scott, how you doing?
How's it going?
So this is the only vehicle she would have?
Only one that, yeah.
She would drive? Okay.
That's me.
So now I want us to look at the video that I'm sure everybody has seen over 1,000 times. I did fast forward it and I did zoom in just a little bit. I just wanted us to see when Chris ends up leaving. So he pulls up just a little bit in his driveway and then he stops there, and then he gets out of the truck and he walks back to the garage. He goes in the garage and does something, and then he comes back in the car, and then he proceeds to leave to the service site. So now I'm going to give you my opinion. This is where I'm going to speculate a little bit on what I think Chris did and the reasons for it. And I don't want no one coming attacking me in the comment section. Again, these are not facts. This is just my opinion, okay? So I think when Chris stopped the truck in the driveway, I think he realized that he had forgotten to take out the keys and leave them in the car. I think he goes inside the garage and he puts the keys inside the Lexus, and then that's why the Lexus isn't locked. I think he left those keys there because somebody was gonna come and take off in Shanann's car later on during the day. And I have thought, well, why wouldn't Chris just wait till nighttime to leave in Shanann's car to make it look like she left? But I think it would only look better for Chris if he was at work where people can eyewitness him being there, and then Shanann leaving in her car, while someone pretending to be Shanann leaving in her car. You know, someone with dark hair, wearing shades, and Nate's camera would catch her car leaving out of the garage while Chris is at work. So Chris wouldn't be the last person to have seen her then, because obviously he's working. People would be able to say, yeah, he was at work, and then Nate's camera would catch her leaving. Another reason why I think they had to have Shanann's car leave during the day was on the 13th, Chris was already sending staged text messages to Shanann's phone at 7:40 a.m. The text message said, "If you take the kids somewhere, please let me know where they are at." Then at 8:25, he made 3 staged phone calls to her phone. Then at 10:44, Sandy called Chris and they spoke briefly. It doesn't give minutes or anything like that. Then at 10:51, Chris called Sandy back and they held a 1 minute and 12-second conversation. I believe Chris was already planting the seed, what he wanted people to think. He wanted everyone to think that Shanann was going to be gone for the day. That's why he told Sandy that she went to a friend's house and was taking the girls. And we know he told Nicole Atkinson that Shanann took off with the girls on a play date. He knew Nate's camera would capture Shanann's white Lexus leaving during the day, so it would correlate with what he was already telling people. But I believe Nicole Atkinson showing up when she did threw the whole plan off, and whoever was supposed to drive that Lexus obviously couldn't do it. And why did the mistress ping in Frederick that morning? We have 2 months of her phone records that shows us her patterns of phone calls, when she makes her phone calls, who she talks to, how long she talks to people, and 2 months worth, and she never pinged going to work in Frederick. Not one time, you guys. 2 whole months, and not one other time did she ping in Frederick. So when people tell me, oh, she was going to Frederick, I'm going to work, I'm sorry, that's just too much of a coincidence for me. The one day she decides to ping in Frederick going to work is the day of the murders. And more interesting is it's only for 1 minute, that phone call. And it's not to Chris, because, you know, she does talk to Chris every morning. But the one day he does what he does, she has no phone call with him. She calls her friend Jim. 1 minute phone call. I've said it before, I think that 1 minute phone call was her calling him. She realized she used her actual phone and she hung up. And one last thing for you guys to think about. Why don't we know what time the mistress got to work that morning? Why is there not one report of her clock-in times? All we know is she told Kobach that she handed her clock-in times to the FBI agent Mark. And that's all we have is her own statement. But there's not one report, and I went through that discovery I don't know how many times looking for anything written by Mark that said Nicole Kessinger arrived at work at XNXO time, left work at this time, had her lunch break at this time. Nothing. And some have said, oh, it's been redacted from the discovery. Why would they redact that? They're going to have the mistress phone bill with her phone number not redacted, with all these people's personal phone numbers on there, not redacted. But yet they're going to keep her clock in time for work out of the discovery. And if they did keep that report out of the discovery of her clock in times, there has to be a reason for it. I don't believe it would show her clock in at the time she said. Why keep that kind of information out when it would only show her not being involved in anything? We hear Kobach telling the mistress that they wanted to make sure she was nowhere near Chris the morning of the murders, and her response was, oh. So who knows, maybe keeping her time clock out of the discovery was for a reason. Maybe that, plus having her ping, would have just showed us a different story. A story maybe the DA didn't want. So that's going to wrap up this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to take the time to please like this video and share it. I really do appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys all soon. Bye.